Hi, this is Gadi Elkan with Sea League Film News here at the Dallas International Film Festival with the return of one of our favorite filmmakers, this time bringing us death metal.
Hey, I'm Chris McInroy. I wrote and directed death metal.
So, I feel like what you do in a living, in your job, is to try and drown Kirk in an amount of blood that's inhumanly possible to be anywhere near in a regular body. You must have fun just dousing, because bad guy number 2 I thought was a lot, but this one there's blood all over the place.
Yeah, I think the goal with this one was to increase the blood flow compared to the last one, and hopefully each movie will increase the blood as we go. But yeah, I'm heavily influenced by like Evil Dead movies or horror films from the 80s that use practical effects. And there's that part in Evil Dead where he shoots the hand in the wall, and there's just so much blood that comes shooting out of his face. Like it's just way too much. So there's well, I don't know if I want to give a spoiler away from the movie, but there's a part where something that shouldn't have that much blood shoots out so much blood. I think like too, for comedy it works where it's so much that it's over the top. So like if that was a drama and I'm murdering all these people, it's not gonna be funny. It's like, dude, I'm getting sick of you killing people. But since it's so extreme, hey, I can laugh at this. It's like charming murder.
Well, to kind of I was going to bring it because like Quentin Tarantino got in a lot of trouble for the amount of blood he used in his film. It was like, there's so much blood, and and he's like, it's supposed to be slightly humorous, and people are like, well, you're making a serious film. You get to get away with that because it is a comedy. Like you get to kind of play it up even more than it would. I mean, you've got a flying axe, like it's insane, but it fits exactly with the tone you're going for in all your films.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask, because you had this idea back when you brought Bad Guy number 2 here.
I think so, yeah. I can't remember exactly, but...
When did you finalize like the exact story though? Because I don't think you told me that it was going to be set outside and he was going to be, working for money. Like that seemed like fresh stuff to me.
I think it was just like my fascination with that time period in the 80s where everything was like satanic in the news. Like everything was a cult and metal was the music of the devil. So it's sort of like, well, what if metal is the music of the devil and it has some rules, and if they break these rules, there's going to be some carnage that happens. But the reality is I was just walking, it's boring. I was walking down the hallway of my apartment, which is a really long, creepy-ass hallway. And I'm trying to think, if I want to make another short film, what do I like? I'm like, well, I want to get Kirk in another movie and spray him with blood. And I like metal, and I like practical effects, and I really like The Gate. It was one of my favorite movies, so I want to throw some demon stuff in there. And then it just kind of popped in my head. And before I stepped into my door, I looked back and made sure there was no like monsters following me down the hallway, and then I went in and wrote the movie.
As far as, we were just talking about Kickstarter campaigns,
Yeah.
How impactful has that been for making these films and having backers that are obviously, really passionate? They're giving the money long before you even have the finalized scripts.
It's huge. I wouldn't be able to make these last 2 short films without the Kickstarters, backers. I mean, to have that support is amazing. I feel like it's almost like a family of people who want to help me succeed, I think, and like, help me make these crazy ass movies, and hopefully they're fans too, not just like, I know Chris, I'll throw him some money, but I'm not gonna watch that shit.
Well, someone that does watch your stuff and is in your films is your daughter.
She doesn't watch the films.
You're not
I haven't let her watch them.
Well, tell me a bit about, because she really likes being in these films, and it's become kind of a fun bit for us that know exactly who she is, and you play it up in each one with her. Tell me about having her in the film, how much fun that is.
It's super fun to have her involved in the films. She helped out with the Kickstarter videos too, where we like reenacted deaths from henchmen in Bad Guy number 2, and then in Death Metal I taught her all about what moshing was. But in this particular movie, we're out in the middle of nowhere in a park, and people are getting bloody, and so a lot of the times we only have one take, because it's not like we can reset and go somewhere and take a shower and come back and get new clothes on. So Chloe, my daughter, who's 9, has a part in here where she gets killed, and she was super nervous because we had to get it in one take, but she did awesome. So I'm just gonna tell you guys, she gets her hands chopped off. She's hanging from monkey bars. An axe comes flying through, chops her hands off. She falls. The stubs are up in her face, just shooting blood all over her. So I'm like, action. Eric pumps the blood, starts shooting her in the face, and she's staying in character. The blood's going in her mouth. She goes, ah, ah. She spit it all out, came back. It's just, she was a pro, man. She loves it. She wishes she could be in my new one, which is called We Summoned a Demon. But there's no role for her in this one.
We can't make her a demon.
She did help in the Kickstarter video again. But she's gotten older, so in this one she's sort of just like, hey Chloe, will you help me make this video? She's like, well, I wish you would just leave me alone. Okay. That's the only part she has in the video. She went from like being the sweet little 4-year-old, can't even read the script, and to this, like, she's on her phone.
Aww.
But you can see the growth. It's pretty cool.
So I've got to ask to tell us a bit more about this We Summon a Demon. Influence-wise, what are we looking at?
Heavily influenced by the 80s movies like The Gate, Night of the Demons. I've been discovering a lot of 80s demon movies that I haven't seen, like Evil Speak. I don't know if you know that one, where he basically summons a demon from a 1981 computer. Yeah. But I really wanted to get some experience working with a creature, like even all the way to the point of designers drawing it up to the different stages, and then even directing an actor in a suit, because my first feature I want to make is a werewolf movie.
Which how about a little artwork?
How about, here's a cool werewolf on the close-up. There, that one right there.
But who are you working with for this?
The demon creator is Eric Zapata. He was on Sci-Fi Channel's Face Off, 2 seasons. He's working on something up here in Dallas right now as well.
That's gonna be cool, and if you can transition to the werewolf, I know he's gonna have fun with that. I mean, just the impact of it.
Yeah.
Back to death metal. I think Kirk's. Can you talk about getting him dressed up in each character? Because the hair alone, I think, needs comment, just because it's its own character, I feel.
Yeah. So I guess in Bag of Number 2, we put him in a ponytail, and in this one, we put him in a long black wig. It just makes sense for this death metalhead rocker to have long hair, and I just wanted him to be able to swing it around. And we on day 1, right away at the beginning, like the first shot we did is just him, the opening shot going like this, and he's supposed to come up and you can see his face, but the hair was just, it wouldn't work. The hair and makeup girl Misha kept having to go and like trim more so we could actually see his face. Yeah.
What about the actual guitar, the axe that you guys create for it? Can you tell me a bit about that? Because it's cool looking.
Yeah, that kind of went through some different phases of what it would be. Would it be like made of some sort of material that only hell has, that's super slick and like shiny and smooth, or would it be something that from the Vikings days that was like carved out of stone? And then it kind of just went to this thing where it's just going to be a big ass pentagram carved out of devil rock and hell with a battle axe at the end of it, and even on the strap it has like dead animal fur. So I don't know.
I love it's a nice, as far as like music history though. I mean, with Robert Johnson's great story of making a deal with the devil, I think it's connecting past just death metal. I think it has that element too, that musicians seem to always make deals with the devil. I mean,
yeah,
it's a lore in all guitarist feelings
like
and emotions.
Yeah, yeah. And this is supposedly passed down from generation to generation of his family as well.
Who came up with the rules?
Well, that I did. I wrote it, but heavily influenced by Gremlins.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Yeah,
3 rules, and it's just fun to break rules. Like, rules are fun to break. So I thought if we threw some rules on the guitar,
He breaks in with his first play. No.
He doesn't hear the rules. He just gets out of there with that guitar.
So I guess the last thing, Chris, I want to show off a little bit more of your tats, because every time you come, you seem to have new stuff.
Yeah.
Let's. I want to see the arm, because you
This
didn't have that.
This is my favorite zombie from my favorite zombie movie, Tar Man, Return of the Living Dead. So he was the first zombie to ever say brains or eat brains. Before that, it was just going after flesh. But this guy was like, brains. So now he's on my arm. This is one of my favorite movies as well, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. This is the time-traveling phone booth. My dad was like, what the hell? Why do you have a phone booth on your arm? Dude, it's the time-traveling machine from Bill and Ted's. And then he was, okay, I get it.
Well, it's always a pleasure. It means so much to have you come back to Dallas. What does it mean to you to seems like hopefully we'll get your third film here and then the feature. I mean, Sarah and them really love having you here. What does it mean to always come back to Diff?
I love it. They're so supportive and nice even to like have me here. And Dallas Film Festival has always been great to me. And it almost still, like the Kickstarter backers, everything feels like a family, and people are supportive of my work, even how crazy it is, But there's a nice block in the Dallas Film Festival of late night shorts where I seem to fit in, and I'm happy to be a late night short filmmaker, hopefully for the rest of my life.
Well, hopefully we'll see you next year with some demon fun.
Yes.
And give us a little bit of information about where people can find some more info on death metal, and then for you, so they can keep track of everything.
Death Metal has a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Death Metal Short Film. I have a Twitter. It's just Chris McInroy, where you can follow me and information about that. And the Kickstarter campaign for We Summon a Demon has 9 days left. I don't know when this will air, but it ends April 12th at 11 a.m., and we're still a ways to go. So that would be helpful if anybody wants to support that. Support demon movie, man.
I think we got a death metal.